Okay, so I'm going to go through the section A, which is the MCQ for the 2018 mid-year Sec 1 express paper. Okay, so we're going to go through the answers. Do take note, we are starting at question 16 because this is the chemistry section. Question 1 to 15 is actually the physics section. Okay, so let's start. Question 16, the write-up is about 3 scientists from Singapore who falsified their lab results. So if you read through here, you will realize that this is about the scientists who actually faked their results. So which of the desirable scientific inquiry attitudes is missing from the scientists? So them faking results is actually what attitude is missing is actually the attitude of integrity. The integrity is about making sure that they are always doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Question 17. Science is study of the natural and physical world. Which of the following is an area of study of the natural and physical world? Obviously, supernatural is not. Spirituality is also out of the natural and physical world. Emotions, okay, is something that you can't measure actually, so that's why this is out. And therefore, the area of study is actually B, energy. So this is actually covered in physics. Okay, you actually cover this in physics. Chem also, you actually have a little bit of it. Okay, chemistry. Okay, so energy is one of the areas of study, okay, for science. Next one, which of the following shows the correct drawing of a burette? Let me zoom this in a little bit. So A actually is beaker, beaker, measuring cylinder. Okay, measuring cylinder. C is a beaker. D is a thermometer. So which one actually is a burette? Answer is B. So this one is quite direct. If you know, you actually know it. Question 19. Which of the following instruments should be used to measure the mass of an object? So measuring cylinder and pipette actually measures volume of a liquid. Okay, volume of liquid. Thermometer obviously measures temperature. And last one, definitely electronics is the electronic balance is the one that you use to measure mass. Question 20. The student wanted to find out how fast the cup of hot coffee will take to cool down. Which of the following instruments is not required for the experiment? So you need to think about in terms of what instruments are required to measure each of these things. So to measure how fast, definitely measure time, and definitely stopwatch I'll need. To cool down, this is really the idea of temperature. I need to measure temperature, hence I'll need a thermometer. So therefore thermometer is required. Now the last one, should I use a measuring cylinder or gas syringe? Because I'm measuring a cup of hot coffee, I'll need to measure the volume of a liquid. And hence I'll need the measuring cylinder. Therefore, which of the following instruments is not required? Answer will be the gas syringe. Next, a student wanted to carry out an experiment to find out if water affects the rate of growth of Kangkong. Which of the following indicates the independent and dependent variable that the student should measure for reliable results? So I want to find out how water affects the rate of growth of a Kangkong plant. So water is the independent variable. Rate of growth of the plant is the dependent variable. Now, so independent variable is about water. So if you look at it, okay, maybe amount of rain possible, volume of water, yes, but these two, nope, it's not the independent variable. Okay, now I need to find out how the rate of the growth of the Kangkong. So in actual fact, to find out the rate of growth of Kangkong, okay, I can take the mass of Kangkong and take the length. So actually A and D both could be the answer. But which one can you control? So the independent variable, you realize that, oh, this one depending on whether got rain or no rain, it's going to be so difficult. So actually, I can't really use this. In addition, the mass of the Kangkong, if I were to use more water, obviously the mass is also. So therefore, the mass of the Kangkong actually is also not such a good way to measure the rate of the growth of the Kangkong. As such, we will be using D. Because the volume of water I can use daily from my tap, use measuring cylinder to measure my tap water and our water into the plant. The length of the Kangkong is very easily measured using a ruler, or I can use vernier caliper. Okay, let me spell the vernier caliper here. Vernier caliper. Okay, so therefore the answer for this is D. Next, question 22. A substance has the following description. It will react violently when heated or struck. Okay, react violently. It is about corrosive. So corrosive is not really about reaction violently, so no. This is about irritant. Okay, so this is what this actually means that it's an irritant. Irritant doesn't react violently. No. C is actually talking about flammable. Okay, so this is not really about reacting violently. This means that it will burn easily. So therefore C is not the answer. Answer is actually A, which means that it's actually explosive. So this violent reaction of heater or struck is really about an explosive reaction. Okay, next, a substance in the following description harmful in small doses. So irritant is this. This is radioactive. This one is biohazard. This one is toxic. So harmful in small doses, this will actually be talking about toxicity. Okay, therefore it's a skull. Okay, and that will be the answer for question 23. Question 24. Which of the following should be done after an experiment? So this is the idea about safety. Okay, wash your hands thoroughly. Yeah, we should. Throw corrosive liquid in the sink. No, this will actually damage the sink, the pipes in the sink. Okay, so therefore we cannot do it. Leave the waste materials on the table. This is not good because we don't. When a person comes and clean up, we do not know what the waste material is. As such, no. Dispose big pieces of broken glass with your bare hands. No. This one will actually injure you also. So all these three are actually unsafe. Therefore, the only answer is A. Wash your hand thoroughly to make sure that you do not leave or bring back any chemicals, especially if you're eating after this. The diagram shows the heating of a reactive chemical in the test tube. Okay, so which of the following should be done as a safety precaution? Dilute the chemicals before heating. If you dilute it, maybe this is possible. Okay, question mark. Let's leave it as question mark first because we don't know whether that's really the answer. Inform the teacher so that he or she can observe you. Okay. Prepare tablecloth to clean up spillage. Obviously, this is wrong. Okay, inform the teacher. Obviously, this is one of the. Then last one, wear safety goggles. This is most probably correct. So the question is, if wear safety goggles is the correct safety precaution, then why is A and B possibly wrong? So if you look at it, as I answer this question, you realize that some of the things I'm not so sure. So what I do is I'll not cross it out immediately. I'll leave it there first, but I'll think about what's the rest of the possible answers. Do not jump into conclusions to straight away think about, yes, that must be the answer. So wearing safety goggles is definitely a safety precaution that you have read in your safety checklist or safety list. So why is A not the answer? Because we dilute the chemical beforehand. Okay, this chemical maybe you can react with water. So if you dilute it, actually it may not be that right. Or the other way is you're supposed to heat it at its current undiluted form. So by diluting it, you might actually change the experiment. Therefore, A is wrong. Inform the teacher so that he and she can observe you. Observing you is definitely not a safety precaution. Inform your teacher to know whether you're doing it right or wrong. Yeah, that's possible. Okay, but inform the teacher so that he and she can observe you. No, this is not really a safety precaution. Okay, unless you are very, 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 very unsure. That's what informing your teachers and checking in how to go about doing instead of observing. Okay, so the answer for this is D, wear safety goggles. Which of the following is an element? If it's an element, it should only have one element. Okay, so look at this. This consists of C and O. This one actually is two elements chemically combined together. So actually, A is a compound. So based on this, you realize that C is also a compound. B is also a compound because it consists of hydrogen and oxygen. When you look at the periodic table, this is C and O, this is N and O, this is H and O. This one, D, only consists of O only. So D is an element only. Okay. Next, question 27. Which of the following methods can be used to break down a compound? So to break down a compound, we need to use a chemical method, chemical process. In your textbook, if you read through it carefully, you realize that there's two ways they can break down a compound. One is using heat, which actually, the other one is using electricity. So using heat is actually thermal decomposition. Using electricity is actually electrolysis. So to break down a compound, you can only use chemical process, and these are the two chemical processes I've learned. One is thermal decomposition, the other one is electrolysis. Therefore, answer is B. Okay, question 28. The table shows the properties of 4 elements W, X, Y, and Z. Which of the following can be classified as a metal? So metal, okay, let's look at the property. Are metals malleable and ductile? Yes. Are metals dull and non-lustrous? Answer is no. This is actually most probably a non-metal. Y is a gas at room temperature and pressure? No, this is definitely not a metal. This is non-metal because metals generally have higher melting and boiling point. So therefore, which can be classified as a metal? Answer is W and Z. Okay, D. Next one. The chemical formula of ammonium iron 2 sulfate is as follows. How many elements are present in ammonium iron 2 sulfate? So let's list down all of them. I got N, I got H, I got Fe, I got S, I got O, I got H, I got O. So you realize that H and O is repeated, therefore I don't even care about these two. So in total, how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore the answer is 5 elements. Okay, if they're asking about number of atoms, then of course it will be different. Okay, number of atoms, then the question, the way how you're going to go about doing it is actually different. Okay, next one, question 30. Which of the following correctly describes a mixture? Water is an example of mixture. No, water is a compound. Water, we know, is H2O. It's a fixed ratio of how hydrogen and oxygen combine. So therefore, A is wrong because water is a compound. Okay. Next, the elements of a mixture always combine in a fixed ratio. As mentioned, fixed ratio, this term is only used for compounds, not for mixtures. So therefore, B is wrong. A mixture made out of 2 or more substances that are not chemically combined? Yes, C is the answer. D, the chemical properties of mixtures are different from those of a constituent. Actually, this is wrong. This is actually describing your compound. Okay, so the chemical properties of mixtures are actually the same as those of its components. So take note, question 30 answer is C. So that's all the 15 questions for section A, which is the MCQ. So that's all. Okay, if you got any questions, please feel free to text your teachers or to call your teachers and to just go through. Okay, that's all.